Larry Kudlow is with us now, host of Kudlow on Fox Business. I still look at those prices and I think, gosh, with everything that's going on, there's just still no price shock when it comes to the energy market.
You never had the $150 to $200. No. You're exactly right. And, you know, my thought here, and I don't know, there's a million reasons, and there's a lot of things we don't know about the military side of this, but I think that the president has completely lost his patience now with diplomacy. And I think you're going to see a major full speed ahead combat operation. There was talk today about General Cooper of the CENTCOM, and they're going to do the 10 to 14-day bombing drill that they didn't do several months ago. It was put on hold. I think they're going to go after that. I think covert operations are going to be very important here. There's going to be findings. The Reagan doctrine, you know, the dissidents, we know who they are. We have intelligence people on the ground. So does Israel and Mossad. I think we're going to work that angle much more than we have before. I think the Scott Bessent economic fury angle will be worked out. We're going to absolutely shut down everything. The sanctions will be even stronger. Iran has made an enormous mistake, but that's because they're crazy people. And I think the president is just going to go full speed. Therefore, my thought was, oil prices will come down a lot more soon enough. Now, I don't know that, you know, and I'm not piecing together supply and demand. I'm just saying, generally speaking, a step up in the war will bring those prices down, not up. So that's an important factor.
What do you think is more painful for the Iranians, these bombing packages we've been doing in recent weeks, or the economic angle, this blockade, not letting them get their oil out? Which are they more afraid of?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think they work in tandem, Bill. I think they go together. I think ultimately the economic squeeze and strangulation, probably in some longer-term sense, might be more important. But I think you're looking now at an across-the-board package: major combat, okay, major economic fury, major covert operations. We're coming down towards the end of this. And again, I don't know anything you don't know. I may not just, you know, looking at the story, but that's my sense of it. I also want to say it's very interesting, a point that has been badly reported today. The GDP report came out, okay, boring GDP, but it's not boring. The top line number was 1.5%, okay, but there are so many glitches in that number. If you deflate it properly by 3% instead of 6%, you'd be almost at 5% real growth, okay? Now, I don't know what the White House is saying. That, in my view, they could message a little stronger.
Markets are messaging that it was a strong report.
That's exactly right.
Stock market's surging.
And business is booming. Business equipment was up 15% in the second quarter at an annual rate. And the actual inflation numbers, you know, Kevin Warsh, the new Fed head, was sort of criticized yesterday for not being militant enough. But the fact is, he's looking at a lot of different inflation measures. He's saying, you know, don't just focus on one. There's some of these measures coming out of the regional reserve banks that are as low as 2.5%, very close to their target. If you apply those measures to the GDP, the actual physical GDP report, you're looking at 5% plus growth, record profits. That's why the stock market keeps bouncing back. And again, I think the outlook for oil, dependent on the war to a large extent, is probably favorable, because we are going to go full
favorable
speed
meaning
ahead.
For all of us consumers to the downside, you're saying?
Yeah, the oil companies have made enough money, honest to goodness.
Can we ask Larry about what's happening on the border there?
Yeah, so in Spain, I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but they're dealing with a massive migrant overflowing their border right now. This is some of the video right now. It's a little city called Susa. It's in North Africa. It's right next to Morocco. It's a little Spanish city that's autonomous. It's not mainland Spain, but they've got thousands of these military-age men that have just completely overrun their border. You see there's no resistance whatsoever. They're running through the city streets.
Locals are asking for the military. Spain saying, no, we're not sending it.
Yeah, Spain, one of the more left-wing governments in Europe. Look, President Trump, I thought, taught us 8 or 10 years ago, open borders don't work. It's one thing to say we like legal immigrants. Senator Deb Fischer was talking about that a few moments ago, and she's right. But to have this massive illegal immigration and essentially open borders, you can't run a country that way. You can't afford a country that way. It will come to no good. and we've learned how difficult the crime can be. I mean, there has to be some law and order in the system, and you have to have sovereignty for countries.
The socialists don't think so.
And the socialists don't think so, and it's one of their biggest Achilles heels in this election coming up, how the democratic socialists of America can possibly defend, in addition to all the other crazy stuff they're saying, okay, liquidate the rich, economic nationalism, Marxism, and all the rest of it. This stuff, open borders and the crime that accompanies it, affects ordinary working folks' families. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how big your apartment is on Central Park South or any of the nonsense that Mondami is talking about. This stuff, I mean, we have seen such horrible stories of people getting killed because
this looks
of
like the
open
border
borders.
a few years ago when Bill was on
Yes, it does.
I know you covered it so
right
well.
now. It's insane.
Eerily similar. Literally looks like Del Rio in 2021.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Europe should learn a lesson, but they don't. I mean, there's no real leadership. When you go into Eastern Europe, that's a different story. Yeah. But the lefties running Western Europe now don't seem to have learned their lesson. I think immigration is probably illegal immigration, the single biggest political issue among these Western European countries right now.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Larry.
Larry,
thanks for having me, as always.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.